Hey guys, this is Blue Flare 2004 and and this video consists of a subject of an older video originally uploaded on my previous channel, Donnie a Horror Story 96, and the video consists of Pokemon Strangled Red version creepypasta originally uploaded on May 15, 2025. So so this is a subject of an older video. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and yeah, enjoy. There are tons of stories out there about hacked Pokemon games. Some of them really quite neat, such as the one about a version where you get a ghost as a starter. Some are ridiculous, silly stories about individuals dying after playing a game, or the game talking to them. God, don't these writers know less is more when it comes to these stories? Well, I digress. I grew interest in these hacked games. There are apparently in any thrift store, on eBay, or handed out by homeless people to random passers-by. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting these creepy people. I merely found this particular cartridge in a trash bin when the garbage truck backed into my neighbor's dumpster. I noticed the game and asked the trash man if I could take it. He didn't seem to mind. It was thrown away after all. I, of course, checked with my neighbor to confirm if they actually didn't want it, though they seemed perplexed, as if they'd never seen it in their life. Their son made a grab for it, a little boy who saw the Charizard on the cover, crying out, "Pokémon! I want, Mommy!" But his mother told him no, seeing as I found it. He didn't even have a Game Boy, anyway. He just liked Pokémon. Thinking nothing more, I simply went home, looking at the cartridge sticker. On the way, just a plain old red version. The sticker's torn slightly across Charizard's neck, but that was expected with such an old game. I had blue version as a kid, so I was a bit eager to see the albeit minimal difference red version. I was rather disappointed by what I saw when the title screen showed up. Pokémon Strangled Red version. Well, damn it, it was a hack. Hacks were neat and all, but they had zero monetary value. The originals were quite valuable by now, and I wanted to play Red anyway, not this crap. Oh well, it was free, might as well try it. The name was odd, however. Strangled Red? That made no sense. Not even in a morbid description of someone being asphyxiated as people turn blue when choking, not red. Who knows? Maybe there was a pair of these hacks and I just got the red one. The more I've thought about this, the more interested I became, and my initial disappointment turned into curiosity. I wanted to know what the creator had made and what I was going to note everything I saw. The first oddity I noticed was the start screen had a Charizard next to the trainer instead of a Charmander, also the Pokemon never cycled through like the original versions did. It just stayed Charizard even after 5 minutes of waiting. Shrugging it, I hit start and noticing there was no Charizard cry, as I did like there was supposed to be. I saw there was a continue option, so I figured I'd do what everyone did with the used games and see what the previous owner had done. No. I blinked in surprise. No. What do you mean, no? The game wouldn't continue. The game wouldn't let me continue what no matter what. Though on the fourth attempt, I heard the Charizard cry, quiet and barely audible. But there, shrugging it off, I decided to just hit new game, like I would have done after checking the old file anyway. The screen cut to black for a while. No Professor Oak, no starting theme, just nothing at all. Eventually, the screen came back, showing a bedroom, 2 beds, 2 TVs, and a computer in the corner. My trainer sprite was the usual one, consisted with the original red version. I was curious as to why it didn't ask me my name, though that was answered as I opened the pause menu and noticed my trainer was named Steven. No, this isn't my real name, or some stupid crap like that. This game isn't self-aware or haunted, at least not that I know of. It just had a name chosen already. Curious, I saw he had a starter amount of money, no badges. He didn't look like Red though. His hair was longer, almost reaching halfway down his back. Red's usual smile was replaced with a confident smirk. Honestly, I found this sprite much cooler than Red. Next, I check out his Pokémon. A single Charmander level 5 named Miki. Nothing was odd about it, or should I say, her. With the name and all, she had beginning Charmander stats only, knew Scratch and Tail Whip, basic stuff. The game seemed relatively normal. Returning to the game, I walked about the room, noticing Steven's long hair was present on the back of my trainer sprite when my back was turned to the camera. I didn't recognize the house, but I descended the stairs to see more. Downstairs, another trainer who spoke to me the instant I came down. Mike, ready yet? Steven, yeah. I assumed this Mike was my rival, pre-decided for me, a replacement of Blue, most likely, though. I thought back to the bedroom, having 2 beds, realizing they weren't just rivals, they were brothers. They talked back and forth, basic Pokemon dialogues, become a Pokemon master, catch 'em all, stuff like that, before having a little argument over which is better, Charmander or Squirtle, which of course led to the introduction battle. The one versus Blue in the lab, like the one versus Blue in the lab. Simple enough, scratch, tackle, till I won, purely for having the first turn. I took note of how much better Steven's sprite looked in combat than Red's. A different pose, his hair looking like it was blowing in the wind. A brief minor upgrade, but still much nicer. I left the house after some more banter with my brother, stepping out to the Pallet Town theme. Going to the east, I found this was indeed Pallet Town. The house was simply on the outskirts to the west. I noted there was no mysterious grassy field like in normal Pallet Town. wandering about, I decided to check in on Red's home. His mother was inside, and when I talked to her, she commented on how handsome Steven looked, hoping her son would look up to him as a role model for when he became a trainer himself next year, which of course led me to realize this game took place a year before the original Pokemon. Red was even upstairs playing the SNES in his room, commenting, "I'm gonna be the best too when it's my turn." I was starting to like this hack. It was interesting, a completely new adventure, a different character. Hell, Steven even to have a history with the people in his town, a reputation, a personality beyond a silent protagonist. The people in the town talk to him in as a person making conversations, not just spouting tutorial crap. Even Blue's sister had a new dialogue. They seemed to be in a relationship too, as the dialogue ended with a kiss and a heart over her head. Professor Oak simply wished me well, giving me a Pokédex to aid my adventure. He wasn't giving it to me to be the reason behind the adventure like every other Pokemon game out there. He gave it to me out of kindness, something to help me on my way, a gift. I was liking this more and more with each second. The game seemed to have an actual story now. I was somebody, not just a cookie cutter protagonist anyone could be, not some blank sheet that could be replaced without notice. The story was different, though the actual gameplay remained unchanged. I went north like I was supposed to, went from town to town, collected badges, received the praise of the leaders. Steven's fame even seemed to spread as some NPCs would talk to him like they knew him. I used Miki for every battle, and she was growing surprisingly fast. She handled Brock with ease, and even pounded Misty with no trouble at all. She wasn't as adversely effective by super effective attacks like as others. Did more damage than regular Charmander. She was veritable a veritable powerhouse. She was even became a Charizard at a mere level of 25. Not bad, I must say. Things started to get weird, though. As soon as I reached Lavender Town, I know. Lavender Town is the focus behind every creepy story and the like of, but it was the only place that was noticeably different. There was no Team Rocket invasion, which I found odd, though I did remember this was a year in the past, so the invasion wouldn't occur until Red's time. I tried to enter the Pokemon Tower, aiming to get a Ghastly, but that's when it go odd. Steven, I have no reason to be here. Steven wouldn't go into the Pokemon Tower no matter what I did. This was weird. I mean, hell, there are a million places in Kanto you really have no need to be. Little random houses with nothing but children, NPCs for example. Why was it here that Steven wouldn't enter? With a shrug, I figured I would need a Ghastly, seeing as Miki could handle anything, so I simply went on my way. Lavender Town serving no purpose other than a passageway with a Pokemon Center. The game progressed normally. From there, the remaining gyms fell, and eventually I made it my way to the Elite Four, defeated them. As with Blue, my brother Mike was there before me, initiating the championship battle, which Miki swept with ease. The aftermath of the battle was quite pleasant. None of the tensions that was present between Red and Blue. At the end of their match, the brothers congratulated each other on their progress and shook hands before the screen went white. No Hall of Fame, nor any credits. When the screen came back, it was at the house again. The two brothers were sitting at the computer, conversating with each other. Steven, I don't want to. Mike, come on, just gotta borrow her for a second. To finish the Pokédex, the entry won't register unless she recognizes me as a master for just a second, Steven. But she's my Miki. Mike, I promise I'll give her back. Come on, please. Yes? No. I was a bit perplexed, so I hit no to be cautious. Mike, come on, please. No. Mike, come on, please. I realized this would simply continue to a loop until I hit yes, so I did, just to see what would happen. Mike, alright, this will just take a sec, then we'll both be Masters. Steven, ... The screen changed to the animation shown when two people trade Pokemon, which I found it a bit weird, seeing as I was solo. But whenever this was what was apparently supposed to happen, Miki went first. I watched lazily as she began to travel down the trading tube. Snap. That made me jump. The sudden noise resonating in my silent bedroom, loud due to the volume being way up. Looking at the screen, I noticed the game seemed to have frozen. Miki was still in mid-trade, but the game wasn't doing anything. With a sigh, I turned off the game, wondering when my last save was. When the game turned back on, I stared for a moment, and at the start screen, there was no Charizard next to the trainer. Upon pressing start, I saw the new game option was absent, leaving only continue. This was strange, to say the least. So I selected it, and the game started without even showing my stats as usual. My jaw dropped at what I was greeted with. 1 year later. The Lavender Town theme came playing first. The Lavender Town theme came first playing its normal way. The screen slowly faded in from blackness. Steven was in the Pokemon Tower, which made the music even stranger, seeing as the tower had its own theme. He was standing in front of a tombstone, not doing anything. Wondering what was going on, I pressed A. Steven, ... Confused, I tried walking, realizing I was indeed in control at the moment. I brought up the pause menu. I checked my party. Miki was gone. Not just Miki, all Pokemon. He had nothing. The Pokédex was absent from the menu. His bag was empty. Honestly, I'm concerned now. I checked his trainer card. He had no money. He had no badges. His playtime was 8,795 hours, which was impossible as I had only 30 logged in before. But that wasn't the strangest part. His picture, the picture of the handsome, confident young trainer was different. His eyes were blank. His face turned slightly down. That smirk of his was gone, replaced by a lack of any expression at all. That long hair of his, before a perfect perm, was now messy and unkempt. I couldn't look at him anymore. Closing the menu, I went to move out of the tower, but with every step I took away from the tombstone, the screen flickered like it did when a Pokemon was poisoned. Gulping, I brought up the trainer card again, and his picture was getting worse. Every step I took, he hung hung his head more and more. His shoulders slumped. He bent over. By the time I had exited the tower, he was on his knees, hands to his face, hair draped across him. I had guessed already what was going on, but this clinched it. I began to put some things together in my mind. I had always wondered why there was no champion in the original games besides your rival. Why is it you, the protagonist, had to beat your rival when he just waltzed in, no previous champion to challenge? Then it struck me. The answer was right here. The previous champion gave up. His precious Miki was apparently dead, and with her, so died part of him. His Pokédex, the other Pokemon, his badges, his fame, all of it. He threw it away. In that year that I missed, the year where all those hours came from, I even did the math. There is 8765 hours in a year. I added that to my 30 from before, and it matched up. Even so, the game kept going. This should have been an ending, I thought. I mean, what else was there to do? I had no Pokédex, no Pokemon, nothing, not anything. What was I supposed to be doing? I talked to everyone in town, but they all said similar things. Are you okay? Still mourning, I see. Everything will be all right. Please, is there anything we can do? Stephen never replied to them, and they all simply said the same things over and over. I couldn't put the game down. Now, this was all so strange. Curious, I headed off into the tall grass. Eventually, I got into a battle with a Rattata. No, no Pokemon was sent out, just Steven's sprite. I was wondering how I battle. Wild Rattata left you be. The battle ended without anything happening. This was certainly interesting, and it happened with every Pokemon I encountered. Wild Pidgey ignored you. Wild Ponyta wandered off. The music never changed either. No matter where I went, Lavender Town came from the speakers, following me, sometimes slowed down slightly, sometimes not. I searched everywhere, every town, talked to everybody, and wondering just what the hell I needed to do. My frustration was mixing with the depressing atmosphere. All of this is making the experience altogether unnerving and uncomfortable, but I couldn't tear myself away. I was starting to get a bit angry, though. Nobody telling me anything besides giving me their condolences and trying to give me items like lemonade or coffee. Each met with, Stephen, no. I slapped myself for idiocy. Suddenly realizing how the likely answer was right in front of me. Pallet Town, of course. When I went there, though, which took me a long time having to walk, no Pokemon to fly with, no bicycle to ride, and Steven only seemed to move half the regular speed. It wasn't much different. I first tried talking to Professor Oak. These things happen. You were just unlucky. Next to Blue's sister, please, don't leave home again. Red's mom wouldn't even talk to me at all. With nowhere else in mind to go, I walked to the west, finding the house from the beginning, which I had never entered since leaving Palatown. Inside was Mike, but talking to him was just useless. Mike, I am so sorry. I pondered for a moment if this is really the ending. Stephen doomed to do nothing but roam a canto in misery, haunted by the memories, forced to listen to everyone's concerns about him as a last-ditch effort to do anything. I went to the bedroom and walked over to the bed. Stephen, I'm going to sleep. The screen faded to black for a moment, but then slowly faded back. And then the world having a black tint to it, the Mike sprite laying in the other bed, I assumed this meant it was night. Stephen, I'm going to do it. Do what? Again? I had no idea. Tried inspecting everything in the room. Nothing happened as soon as I left the house. Another dialogue. Stephen, it can bring her back. It can do anything. What the hell is it? What in the hell was it? Something that could do anything? I couldn't, for the life of me, figure it out. Wondering about, I tried leave Palatown the usual way. Stephen, not that way. He wouldn't go any further. I tried the homes. Stephen, screw them. I quirked my eyebrows at that. I forgetting for a moment this was not a real Pokemon game. The vulgarity just took me off guard. I continued to look around, but there was nowhere I could go until I accidentally stepped on the ocean and Stephen walked right in. Only the upper half of his sprite visible like the swimmers you encounter in the Cerulean Gym. Sorry if I butchered that. I didn't know he could swim. Stephen, the missing one. The missing one? I paused for a moment. No, he couldn't possibly mean that. I hadn't tried the missing no trick on this hack yet. But it just fit too. Well, that had to be what he meant. I surfed all the way towards Cinnabar and began to feel something was off, more so than this already was. Silence. The Lavender Town theme had stopped. There was no noise at all, nor was there any Pokemon. I just kept going, finding Cinnabar, and surfing up and down the East Coast. Lo and behold, Wild Missing No appeared. Stephen, mine. Wild Missing No was caught. What the hell? Stephen didn't do anything. He just commanded that atrocity of broken data to join him. No, become his possession. And it did. I was getting more and more disturbed by this all. Checking the start menu, I saw Missing No was not in my party, but instead an item, making things even stranger. I checked the trainer card as well. Stephen has back to me, his long hair draped behind him, his hands in his pockets, nothing else. Remembering what he said at the start of this night, I realized what I had to do. I surfed to the land and made my way northeast to where else? Lavender Town. Along the way, I noticed all the trainers oddly still at this out at this hour wouldn't look at Stephen. All of them started turning when he passed. He even those though that normally static. I tried talking to one of those officers in the guardhouse type buildings. Just go. They all say the same thing, though one sent chills down my spine. Sometimes dead is best. My hands were sweating at this point. Stephen was about to try the impossible, something some would see as a crime against nature. Which of these many of these people shared that opinion? I steeled myself. It's just a game, and I was gonna complete it. It took an eternity to reach Pokemon Tower, but I got there eventually, taking a deep breath, heading toward the tombstone I remembered, which one. The image of Stephen standing before it burned into my mind after all. First I tried inspecting it. Stephen, Mickey. Nothing happened. With a gulp, I opened the menu and selected Missing No from the bag. Oak. Stephen, don't use it! I was reminded of when Professor Oak would magically tell you that you couldn't use a key item, somewhere like when you're using a bicycle in a building, though the message this time was different, even worse. Stephen responded to it. Stephen, in a world that cheated me, why should I play fair? Stephen used it. Stephen obtained Miki. What in God's name did I obtain? I couldn't tell you because the game took away my control. Without my input, Stephen began to leave the tower on his own, walking single step by single step. The Lavender Town theme started again as he left the tower and began his excruciating slow journey against my will. Every time he crossed one of the borders where the music would change, it got progressively slower and more disturbing. By the time he reached Cerulean City, it was a demonic rumbling. I just started watching him, trying to guess where he was going, but it was getting more and more obvious. He was heading for Pallet Town. The music had all but stopped when he got to there, playing single note by single note. He went to the exactly where I had guessed, right to his own house, inside and up the stairs. At this point, there was no music. Stephen moved step by step, stopping at his brother's bed, turning to face him. At first, I thought the game froze. He didn't do anything, simply stood there, and I couldn't move him. I did, however, found out I could open the pause menu. I was terrified to look, but I couldn't stop myself. I selected his trainer card. There was a low growl noise, like a distorted Pokémon cry. Stephen was looking at me again, directly at the screen. He was hunched over, his bangs obscuring his face. His hair was wild and feathered out. Between the bangs, there wasn't even a face at all, just black, two red eyes looking straight forward, a white grin, contrasting with the darkness. That wasn't all. His name was now Stephen. I couldn't look away, my eyes glued to his, not breaking contact for some time. My vision was getting blurry, until I couldn't see very well. My face grew wet. I was crying like a baby. There was nothing I could do to hold back the tears. I was with this boy from the start. I built him up to greatness and was then forced to watch his decline after a tragic accident. And now he was this abomination. I watched him go insane. Halting my tears, wiping my eyes, I closed out of the trainer card and tried to save the game, wanting to just quit. The game informed me this was impossible. Nothing can be saved now. The pause menu wouldn't close no matter what I did. So with no other option, I checked the bag Nothing happened. I checked the Pokemon, and there was one. A single sprite met me. It had 0 HP. Its status DED. And its name Miki. I selected it, and I was greeted with 4 options. Status: it's her. Switch: never. Close: no. Strangle. My fingers were shaking. I selected strangle, and then the menu closed, showing Steven in the room again. Steven, goodbye. Snap. The game just shut itself off. I was more dumbfounded than frightened. In a bit of a shock, I turned it back on. The title screen was showing a manic Steven and a horribly glitched Charizard. I pressed start and then continued. All I saw was a zoomed-out view of Pallet Town, showing Steven's home to the west. Tall grass surrounding it with those unmovable stones blocking it from the rest of town. The image was completely static. No music, no movement, before fading to white, going back to the title screen. It was as it had been when I first popped it in. A trainer and a Charizard. I attempted to hit continue. No. And that's the Pokemon Strangled Red version creepypasta. Now I unfortunately don't know who wrote this story, so whoever wrote this, be sure to give them credit for this. And hopefully for the first creepypasta, sorry I couldn't add any background music to add to the atmosphere of this story. So, but hopefully you enjoy what I read to you guys in this video. So, if you do, definitely subscribe and share this video and share my channel with everyone you know. And if you're into gaming, video game stuff like video game reviews and gaming content, check out the Young Vintage Gamer, my other YouTube channel. And subscribe to that channel as well and share those videos and share that channel with everyone you know as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. So, that's Pokemon Strangled Red version creepypasta for you. So, hopefully you enjoyed this old video I previously uploaded on my previous channel and managed to re-upload it on this channel. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and be sure to smash that like button if you like what you see, and be sure to, and I'll also appreciate if you check out my other videos on this channel, hit the notification bell, and share my content and my videos with everyone you know. This is Blue Flare 2004, signing off.